Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. And Kiefer kicking it off super fast here with a Chalice at 1, along with a Mox Opal. Looks like Dark Steel. Citadel comes down, turning on Metalcraft, and here is a 2/2 Walking Ballista. Brian on the other side is playing Eldrazi Post, and he has Cloud Post and Chalice at 1. Grim Monolith is going to enable a... I am not sure what this actually was. Perhaps a Endless one, judging by the 3 counters on it. Is in danger of being overrun by this Walking Ballista very soon. Thought-Knot Seer comes down, and haha, gotcha. All I got is lands, says Kiefer. City of Traders and a Ancient Tomb. Walking Ballista able to be ticked up off these Ancient Tombs, but that is going to deal a lot of damage. Just 4 coming in. This is becoming a very dicey situation. Picking up 4 counters. One more Ancient Tomb tapping could be putting him in lethal range. There's a Talisman of Dominance. Now, very complicated game state here. Walking Ballista simplifies the heck out of it. Looks like that's just going to allow for lethal flinging. Removing some counters. So there we go. Cloud Post going over the top with an even bigger Walking Ballista than the Antiquities War deck was able to manage. Eldrazi Post, not a deck you see a lot of. There's a lot of different brews that use Cloud Post in Legacy. I've done a lot of the Primeval Titan builds. Had a lot of success with those. Very fun decks. This Eldrazi Post deck looks very interesting. The fact that it uses Chalice of the Void and has good sinks for all of the additional mana makes it very interesting. Walking Ballista, a very real threat. Thought-Knot Seer, a tremendous magic card. Surprised it's actually not worth a bit more than it is. Not shock me if that card ends up being rather valuable down the line, especially if it doesn't get reprinted. Very similar to Vendilion Click, in my perspective. I feel like Click was undervalued for a very, very long time, and then kind of out of nowhere, it just became something that started getting the proper respect. That 4/4 body for 4 is really something. And maybe it'll just take some really good colorless lands to kind of work their way into control strategies. I'm not sure what it'll take to really give that guy wider play. The colorless requirement is actually somewhat difficult to pull off in many decks. But certainly not in Eldrazi Post. Well, we'll see what Kiefer can do here to force a game 3. Time limit not likely to be a factor in this matchup. This was filmed part of our Wednesday night Legacy series at ELD's Time Vault Games. That is in Bellingham, Massachusetts. New home for Eternal Magic the Gathering. And starting out here, is this good enough for Brian? Taking a look. Rearranging his cards. He's got an Endbringer that he shifted down to the end of his hand. It is not good enough. Looks like not enough lands there. Kiefer, on the other hand, is going to keep on the play. But is tough. A lot of the strength of the Chalice decks does kind of stem from shutting off your opponent via Chalice of the Void. Like, that's a major, major selling point. So taking that away does sometimes turn these Chalice decks into kind of a slap fest. But I would expect the Eldrazi Post deck has more bombs to drop. There's a Karn, however. And that is actually one hell of a bomb. That could threaten to really outrace almost anything that Brian does here. Force of Will, countering Thought-Knot Seer. Eye of Ugin, making him cost 2 less. And Kiefer just going to town with Karn, making some tokens. There's a Trophy Hunter for Master of Ethereum. All right. Got some spice bubbling up here. Little anthem for the whole team. That is a significant fatty on the other side. We could be quickly into game 3, and we are. So there we go. Kiefer quickly off of the back of Karn, Scion of Urza, and Master of Ethereum. Just taking that one down in short order. So let's see what Brian can do on the play. Those were some serious bombs, significantly more dangerous than many of the Chalice decks that are out there. There are Imperial Recruiters and Magus of the Moons and that type of effect. Simian Spirit Guides. So often the threats from these Chalice decks are just kind of whatever it takes to cross the finish line. But it looks like both of these lists combine really significant haymakers along with that Chalice. That does make for a much more interesting matchup. See a Walking Ballista shifted down on Brian's hand. No sirs it. Looks like Kiefer is going to be mulliganing as well. You are listening to this close to when it goes onto YouTube. We have a Legacy event this weekend at ELD's Time Vault Games. That is March 9th, 2019. And if you are interested in playing, I strongly recommend that you pre-register. We are going to very likely be hitting capacity. If we do hit capacity, that will actually achieve one of the requirements for Advanced Plus. We've raced through the DCI's requirements so far in terms of number of events and number of players and all of the different criteria they use to kind of gauge a store's successful running of tournaments. And the 50-person event is one of the bigger milestones. The rest of them will fall with time. Those are mostly number of players overall and number of new signups. But getting 50 people in a room for an event is definitely one of my short-term goals here. And it looks like this weekend is going to be the one to do it, barring some really bad weather. And even still, I mean, what else are you going to do? Just sit inside, and if it snows, come on. Let's get out and play some Magic. Win some awesome prizes, and become immortal with the wall of champions that we have here. Every person who wins one of the ELD Opens, their photo goes on the wall, along with the pin from the event, kind of immortalizing. This is what's actually going to be for the Legacy Open. Let's see if this comes in. There we go. I don't know if that shows up for you okay, but the hourglass logo for Time Vault. And it looks like they're done resolving this train wreck situation. So Brian drew an extra card during the mulligan phase. And he is now resolved that. He's scrying and opening up with Glimmer Post. Does not come into play tapped. And a wastes into a Walking Ballista at 1. That guy's been seeing some serious play. He does some work. Trophy Hunter. Gonna go grab a 3-drop Master of Ethereum. He'll be a respectable, I guess just a 2/2 at this time. We'll see how many more artifacts can come in. Vesuva. I'm not sure what that copied. Would not be Glimmer Post, but is not a Locust. Perhaps he copied Ancient Tomb to try and accelerate. Let's see. It was, in fact, copying Ancient Tomb, and that enables Thought-Knot Seer. And Thought-Knot on the other side, as well as Scion of Urza. Karn, the Planeswalker, is selected. That other Thought-Knot going to be a problem. Double Master of Ethereum. Is that what we're seeing here? This is out of control. I will say that. They're each 5/5s right now. Not going to work out very well. So a 2-for-1 there on Thought-Knot. Thought-Knot lets Brian draw a card. Master of Ethereum goes down. It does make the other Master considerably smaller. And gonna need to ratchet this up quick. Sorcerer's Spyglass comes in, can name the Karn. Gonna need to tick up 3 times and then activate. There's a Thought-Knot Seer. I do not believe that this Ratchet Bomb plan is gonna work out. Walking Ballista. I'm not sure what that other card was. Let me know in the comments if you identified it after that look, but Ratchet Bomb does not take out Seed of the Synod. I think Brian may have miscalculated there. He blew it up, taking out just the Mox Opal, hoping to also hit that Seed of the Synod and really shrink the Master. This is not looking great. Not sure if that's an endless one, perhaps. Probably a Walking Ballista. I can't figure that out. And there's the Antiquities War. That's what it's named for. Getting a Mox Opal. Go ahead and play that. The end is near. Thought-Knot shows a Walking Ballista. Goes to the bin. And that will do it. So Kiefer able to overwhelm Brian's Eldrazi post in 3. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please help grow the channel by subscribing. You'll be notified when we upload new videos like Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic with commentary, or Untapped, our raw tournament gameplay. Thanks for watching.